Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Last time, we really dug into offensive security, testing defenses.
We did indeed. Poking holes, seeing what breaks.
Exactly. But today, we're kind of shifting gears, looking ahead. We're diving into the future of cybersecurity in your career path.
Right. It's a huge topic, and it's moving so fast.
So our mission today is really to explore this changing battlefield. We'll look at emerging threats, things like AI attacks, quantum computing.
And how defenses are evolving, like with zero trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the crucial part about lifelong learning in this field, plus a look at different career paths, maybe some certifications people should know about.
We're aiming this at, students, tech enthusiasts, anyone really interested in where this is all heading, hopefully providing some clarity and maybe a few aha moments.
Okay, let's jump right into it because the future of cybersecurity sounds incredibly dynamic and, honestly, full of opportunities for anyone looking at this space. I'm genuinely excited to explore this.
Me too. This field is moving at, warp speed, and understanding these shifts is crucial. Shall we start with the Q&A? Maybe looking at the threats first?
Sounds good. Let's dive in. So thinking about the future, how is artificial intelligence, AI, actually being used as a weapon by attackers? Feels like we hear more about AI for defense.
That's a critical question to start with, and you're right, AI is a double-edged sword. What's really quite unsettling is how quickly AI is becoming a powerful weapon for attackers. It's escalating things significantly.
In what ways?
Well, we're seeing its rise in a few key areas. First, think about hyper-realistic phishing.
Yeah.
Forget the old emails with terrible grammar and obvious mistakes. AI can now generate incredibly convincing, personalized phishing emails, messages, even fake login pages, and do it at a massive scale.
Personalize that scale. So tailored to each individual target.
Exactly. It's like an attacker can craft a bespoke trap for thousands of people almost instantly, and each one looks perfectly legitimate, maybe referencing recent projects, colleagues. It's much harder to spot.
Wow. Okay. Here's where it gets really interesting. So it's not just about simple typos anymore. It's a whole new level of sophistication. It makes you wonder how organizations can even defend against that level of targeted attack.
Precisely. It shifts the burden, right? From spotting obvious errors to trying to catch really subtle, almost imperceptible manipulations. And it doesn't stop there.
Go on.
Secondly, we're seeing AI-powered malware. This isn't your static virus anymore, the kind that relies on known signatures.
Right, antivirus databases.
Exactly. This new malware can learn. It can adapt its own code, change its behavior dynamically, specifically to evade detection by traditional antivirus software.
Adapt its own code. How does that work?
Imagine malware that can, say, run through thousands of tiny mutations per second inside a simulated environment, testing different ways to hide itself until it finds a unique path past the defenses. It's like an incredibly fast evolutionary arms race happening in milliseconds.
That makes signature-based detection sound almost quaint, like it's obsolete before the attack even launches.
In many ways, yes, it's a massive challenge. It demands new defensive approaches.
Wow, that's a whole new level of sophistication, a living, evolving threat. And that kind of leads perfectly into something else that sounds even more alarming. What is the threat of deepfake social engineering?
Deepfakes. Yes, this is an absolutely alarming use of AI. It basically preys on our fundamental trust in what we see and hear.
How so?
It involves using AI to create fake audio or video, incredibly realistic fake audio or video, of trusted individuals. Think your CEO, a senior manager, maybe even a team member.
Okay. Why would they do that?
The goals are often high value. Things like authorizing fraudulent wire transfers. Imagine getting a video call, looks and sounds exactly like your boss, telling you to make an urgent payment to a new vendor.
And it's completely fake.
Completely generated by AI. Or tricking employees into giving up sensitive credentials, passwords, access codes. Maybe getting access to critical systems by impersonating someone with authority.
That's truly unsettling.
It is. The authenticity is incredibly hard to dispute, especially if you're under pressure or it seems urgent. It makes it a really powerful tool for very sophisticated fraud and manipulation.
That raises an important question. How do we even begin to verify authenticity when the fakes are so convincing? When our own eyes and ears can be fooled so easily, it shakes the foundation of digital trust.
It really does. It forces us to rethink verification processes, maybe look towards multimodal verification or behavioral biometrics, things that are harder to fake. But it's a huge challenge.
And speaking of foundational digital trust, There's another, maybe even bigger technological shift looming: quantum computing. What exactly is the long-term threat that quantum computing poses to our current security?
Right, quantum computing. This is often framed as an existential threat to our current cryptographic standards,
Hmm.
and there's a good reason for that.
Existential? How so?
Well, while practical large-scale quantum computers are still some way off, theoretically, a powerful enough quantum computer could break the complex mathematical problems that underpin most of our modern asymmetric encryption.
Asymmetric.
Yeah.
You mean like public and private keys, RSA?
Exactly. Algorithms like RSA, which are the bedrock for securing, well, almost everything online. Secure websites, HTTPS, VPNs, digital signatures, secure email, online banking, government communications. A lot relies on the difficulty of factoring large numbers, something a quantum computer could potentially do very efficiently using Shor's algorithm.
So what does this all mean for the encryption methods we rely on every single day if RSA breaks?
It would mean much of our secure communication and data protection becomes, well, obsolete, vulnerable. It's like finding out the locks on every digital door are fundamentally flawed. It impacts everything.
That sounds catastrophic,
Yeah.
like needing to rebuild the foundations of online security. Are we doing anything about it?
Thankfully, yes. This isn't a surprise threat. The community has been working on it for years. There's a massive global effort underway in something called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC.
Post-quantum cryptography, okay.
Essentially, researchers are developing entirely new cryptographic algorithms based on different mathematical problems that are believed to be resistant to attacks from both classical computers and future quantum computers. NIST, the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, is finalizing standards for these new algorithms right now.
So we're trying to get ahead of the curve, develop quantum-resistant encryption before the threat fully materializes.
That's the goal. It's a huge migration effort that will take many years, replacing the old algorithms with these new PQC ones across all systems. But the work is definitely happening.
It really does sound like a monumental re-engineering effort. Okay, so we have these new evolving threats: AI, quantum computing, breaking old methods. It makes it pretty clear why the traditional castle and moat model of security is broken. What is the modern defensive philosophy that addresses this reality?
You're spot on. The traditional castle and moat model, strong walls, trusted inside, untrusted outside, it's just obsolete.
Why exactly? What broke it?
It was built for a world where all your important stuff, your assets, were inside a clearly defined corporate network. But think about today. We have cloud services everywhere, people working remotely, mobile devices connecting from anywhere, IoT gadgets. That neat perimeter, it's dissolved, it's gone.
Okay, let's unpack this. Perimeter is gone. It's a pretty powerful statement.
Yeah.
What does that truly imply? What are the practical consequences?
It implies that you can no longer assume safety just because something or someone is inside your network. Threats can originate from anywhere, compromise user accounts, infected personal devices connecting remotely, even malicious insiders. Trust based purely on network location is meaningless.
So if the old model is out, what's the new philosophy?
The modern defensive philosophy that directly confronts this reality is called zero trust architecture, ZTA.
Zero trust. I've heard that term a lot. What's the core idea?
The core principle is incredibly simple yet profound. Never trust, always verify.
Never trust, always verify.
Exactly. A zero trust architecture starts from the assumption that a breach is inevitable, or maybe has even already happened. Therefore, it doesn't automatically grant trust to any user, any device, or any application, regardless of where they are connecting from. Inside the network, outside the network, doesn't matter. Trust is never assumed.
What's fascinating here is that it fundamentally shifts our mindset from assuming safety inside to assuming constant vigilance everywhere. It feels like a much more realistic approach given today's threats.
It is. It moves away from that implicit trust model, which is so easily exploited, towards explicit verification for every single access attempt.
But practically, how does a zero trust model actually work? What does always verify look like in action?
Okay, so instead of that one-time check at the old perimeter, zero trust demands verification and policy enforcement at every single access request, every time.
Every time someone tries to access anything, like a file, an app.
Anything. A user, a device, an application tries to access a resource, could be data, an app, a network segment. The system has to rigorously check a few things. First, it authenticates the user and the device. Is it really you? Is your device secure? Often using multi-factor authentication, checking device health.
Okay, authentication first. Then what?
Second, It authorizes access based on strict policies. Does this user's role allow access to this specific resource? Is the device posture compliant? Does the current context seem normal? And crucially, it enforces the principle of least privilege.
Least privilege.
Meaning, users only get access to the absolute minimum resources they need to do their job, and only for the time they need it. No broad standing permissions.
Got it. Authenticate, authorize, least privilege. Anything else?
Yes. Critically, it continuously monitors the session. It doesn't just grant access and forget. It watches for any suspicious behavior during the session. If something looks off, maybe the user starts accessing unusual data, or the device behavior changes, access can be revoked instantly.
So it's dynamic. Trust isn't static?
Precisely. And it's really important to remember, Zero Trust isn't just one product you buy. It's a strategic approach, a framework. It integrates identity management, endpoint security, network controls, analytics, all working together.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it sounds like a much more robust and dynamic defense against sophisticated threats, especially the kind we were talking about earlier, like AI-driven attacks or insider threats.
Exactly, because it doesn't rely on that broken perimeter assumption. It forces verification at every step.
But it also sounds like, well, a lot more complex to manage, a continuous process.
It is. It requires ongoing effort and the right tools and processes.
Which perfectly leads us to the next point. Given this rapid evolution, new attacks, new defenses like Zero Trust, why is lifelong learning considered such a core job requirement in cybersecurity? It seems obvious, but maybe unpack that a bit.
It's absolutely fundamental. Lifelong learning isn't just, a nice to have or a recommendation in cybersecurity. It's a core job requirement, period.
Why so absolute?
Because the landscape changes incredibly fast. Attacker tactics, techniques, procedures, TTPs evolve constantly. New vulnerabilities are discovered daily. Defensive technologies and strategies like Zero Trust or AI-driven defense are also advancing rapidly. Compliance regulations change. What you knew, what was best practice even just a couple of years ago might be outdated or even irrelevant today.
So knowledge has a short shelf life.
Exactly. People talk about the half-life of knowledge in tech, and in cybersecurity, it feels particularly short. A certification you earned 5 years ago, while still valuable foundationally perhaps, doesn't reflect the current threat landscape or the tools used today. You have to stay curious, you have to stay adaptable, and you absolutely have to commit to continuous learning just to keep up, let alone get ahead.
It's less a job and more a continuous journey of discovery then.
That's a great way to put it. It has to be, if you want to be effective.
That's a stark reminder, and maybe a bit daunting for some. So for professionals in the field or people wanting to get in, how can they practically stay current? What are the real-world ways to keep that knowledge fresh?
That's a key question. It's about actively engaging, not passively waiting. There are several concrete methods.
Like what?
Well, first, staying informed. Follow reputable cybersecurity news sites. The Hacker News, Bleeping Computer, Dark Reading, Krebs on Security are good examples. Read blogs from major security vendors and independent researchers. They often break down new threats and techniques.
So keeping up with the news cycle.
Definitely. Then listen to security podcasts like this one, hopefully. Attend conferences, big ones like DFCon or RSA, but also smaller local events like B-Sides conferences. They're fantastic for networking and learning directly from peers and experts about what's happening right now. Often you hear about things before they're widely reported.
Okay, news, podcasts, conferences. What about getting hands-on?
Absolutely crucial. Hands-on practice is key. Set up a home lab to experiment safely. Use online platforms like Hack the Box or Try Hack Me. They provide virtual environments to practice offensive and defensive skills legally. Participate in Capture the Flag competitions, CTFs. They're a great way to test your skills against realistic challenges.
That's practical advice for anyone listening who's thinking about their career path. It really highlights the joy of discovery and, the hands-on learning in this field. It's not just books.
Not at all. You have to do it.
Okay, speaking of career paths, for someone maybe just starting out, looking to enter the field, what's a common entry-level role they might aim for?
A very common and really vital entry-level role is the security analyst. Often they work in a security operations center, a SOC.
The SOC analyst. Okay, what do they do day to day?
Think of them as the first responders to digital incidents, or on the front lines. Their main job is monitoring security alerts coming in from various systems, firewalls, intrusion detection systems, endpoint security tools. They investigate potential incidents when an alert pops up, try to figure out what's happening, triage the threats, decide how serious it is, and then escalate the serious issues to more senior team members or incident responders.
So they're the eyes and ears constantly watching, doing that initial investigation.
Exactly. It's a critical role for real-time detection and response. A great place to learn the ropes.
Makes sense. Okay, what about a security engineer? How does that differ from an analyst?
If analysts are the responders, security engineers are more like builders. They design, implement, and maintain the organization's security infrastructure.
The builders.
Yeah.
Meaning they set up the defenses.
Precisely. They're responsible for deploying and configuring things like firewalls, intrusion detection and prevention systems, IDPS, security information and event management systems, SIEMs, They set up VPNs, endpoint protection, email security gateways, and increasingly, cloud security controls. They make sure the security tools are working correctly and are properly configured to protect the organization.
So more focused on the technology implementation and upkeep rather than the real-time monitoring.
Generally, yes. They translate the security strategy and policies into actual working technical controls.
Okay, analyst, engineer. What about moving up? What about a more senior level role like a security architect? What's their focus?
Right, the security architect.
Yeah.
This is definitely a more senior strategic role. They aren't usually focused on configuring individual boxes or responding to alerts.
So what do they do?
They're responsible for designing the overall security strategy and architecture for the entire enterprise, the big picture.
The whole blueprint.
Exactly. They look at the business goals, the risks, the technology landscape, and design a comprehensive security framework that aligns with all of that. They decide how different security components, network, data, application, identity security, should all fit together and work cohesively. They need to think about scalability, resilience, compliance, and future threats.
So they're ensuring security supports the business, not just hinders it, while protecting everything.
That's a key part of it. Aligning security requirements with business objectives is crucial at that level. They're looking years ahead, anticipating shifts in technology and threats.
It's clear that experience is hugely important for these roles, especially architect. But you mentioned certifications earlier. While experience is paramount, certs are still valuable, right? For someone starting out, what's widely seen as the best entry-level certification?
Yeah, experience is king, but certifications definitely help validate knowledge and skills, especially early on. For entry level, the one that consistently comes up as the gold standard is the CompTIA Security Plus One.
Security Plus One.
Because it provides a really solid vendor-neutral foundation across a broad range of essential cybersecurity topics. It covers things like network security concepts, threats and vulnerabilities, identity management, cryptography basics, risk management, incident response fundamentals. It shows potential employers you have that baseline understanding needed to start in the field.
So a good broad overview, not too specialized yet.
Exactly. It's globally recognized and opens a lot of doors for those first roles, like the security analyst position.
Okay, Security Plus for entry level. Now, what about for people further along? Experienced professionals, maybe managers or aspiring architects. What's considered the gold standard certification for them?
For experienced security professionals, particularly those in or moving towards management or leadership roles, the undisputed gold standard is the CISSP Certified Information Systems Security Professional.
CISSP. I hear that one mentioned a lot. What makes it the gold standard?
Well, unlike Security Plus, which is foundational, or more technical certs that focus on specific tools, the CISSP is incredibly broad and deep, but focuses more on the managerial and strategic aspects of security. It covers 8 domains. Things like security and risk management, asset security, security architecture and engineering, network security, identity and access management, security assessment and testing, security operations, and software development security.
So it's less about hands-on keyboard skills and more about understanding the whole security landscape from a management perspective.
Precisely. It demonstrates a comprehensive understanding of how to design, implement, and manage a best-in-class cybersecurity program. And a key part of its prestige is the experience requirement.
Oh, what's that?
You need to prove at least 5 years of cumulative, paid, full-time work experience in 2 or more of those 8 domains of the CISSP common body of knowledge. You can't just study and pass the exam. You need validated real-world experience.
Wow, okay. 5 years experience required. That definitely sets it apart and makes it a mark of a seasoned professional.
It does. It signals a certain level of expertise and commitment to the field.
That really underlines how diverse the field is, doesn't it? From those hands-on technical roles like analyst and engineer, right up to strategic leadership and governance with something like CISSP. It's a huge spectrum.
It absolutely is. There's a niche for almost any interest within cybersecurity.
So bringing this all together,
Hmm.
to conclude our deep dive today, what is the path forward? For the cybersecurity field itself and for the professionals working within it, what's the outlook?
The path forward is, well, it's one of continuous dynamism, constant change. It's an immense challenge, but also packed with incredible opportunity.
How so?
We're definitely going to see this escalating arms race between AI-driven attacks and hopefully equally sophisticated AI-powered defenses. Speed, adaptability, and machine learning that will be key on both sides.
The AI battleground.
Yes.
Okay.
And the long-term threat of quantum computing isn't going away. It will necessitate that fundamental shift in cryptography we talked about, moving to PQC. That's a massive ongoing effort.
Intensively.
Defensively, the old castle and moat is dead. Zero trust architecture, with its never trust, always verify principle, is the necessary direction. It's about identity, context, and continuous verification, not just location.
So what does that mean for the people, the professionals?
For the professionals, the path is clear. Lifelong learning and continuous adaptation are non-negotiable. You have to embrace new technologies, understand evolving threats, constantly update your skills. Complacency is the enemy.
Embrace the change.
Absolutely. But the positive side is there's a vital role for everyone. Whether your passion is analyzing threats like a detective, building robust defenses as an engineer, thinking like an attacker as a pen tester, or setting the strategic vision as an architect, every role is critical. The core mission remains the same: protect the digital infrastructure that basically runs our modern world.
It's a field that constantly challenges you to learn, innovate, and really contribute to something essential.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's demanding, yes, but also incredibly rewarding.
Well, this has been fascinating. We hope this deep dive has given our view listening a clearer vision for the future of cybersecurity and maybe where you might fit within it.
Yeah, just to quickly recap the big takeaways, we've got AI and quantum computing really reshaping threats and defenses.
Zero trust emerging as the imperative modern defense strategy.
And that absolute non-negotiable commitment needed for continuous learning in this field. The knowledge base just evolves so fast.
Plus, the sheer variety of career paths, from the technical builders to the strategic architects, all absolutely vital for protecting our digital world.
Definitely a lot to think about.
Indeed. Now, looking ahead, be sure to tune in for our next series. We'll be exploring the computing continuum, from cloud to edge and beyond. Should be another interesting one.
Sounds great. Looking forward to that.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us today for this crucial discussion. We really appreciate tuning in.
Yes, thanks, everyone.
If you found this session valuable, and we hope you did, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to our channel, Tech AI and Beyond, to stay informed on the cutting edge of technology.
Please do. We'll see you next time.